Hey, everybody, and welcome to my latest live stream. This is Jessica Dwyer with Fangirl Magazine, and I am here to talk about WandaVision, the episode 5 that has haunted me and has kept haunting me and making me think about it all day long. This was a massive moment in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and Marvel in general, for all the fans that have been through all of this with everyone. It was a big deal. There are going to be spoilers here. If you haven't watched the episode, don't continue with this live stream. Come back to it later. See what you think, if you agree with me on some of the theories I've got throwing around in my head. But I needed to get this out there. I need to talk about it. And so here we are. So this was a major episode in the fact that they used WandaVision for the bridge between the Fox movies, Marvel movies, the X-Men films, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This was a huge deal because this is the first time that has happened, that merging has happened. And how they did it was brilliant. It was insanely brilliant. And I was just blown away by how smart this is. How it kind of pisses me off too, because so many people were slamming this show and just saying it's too slow. It makes no sense. What the shit's going on? I don't know. But here in this episode, you have what's going on, and basically how they're doing this. And they've kind of set the stage for this with Spider-Man and with, just Doctor Strange in general, talking about the variations and the different ways things could go with Endgame and with the one possibility. But there are all these various different ways it could have went. And they set that up with Loki, which is I know is going to play into this with the Loki series. But here with WandaVision, you have that bridging of bringing in the Fox properties that have came with the purchasing of Fox, and with Evan Peters as Quicksilver. But he is not that Wanda's Quicksilver. He is, though, a Quicksilver. And what I believe this is setting up is going to be a multiverse, which we've kind of already gotten hints of that. We've already, like I said, Spider-Man's been doing that. You got hints of that in Endgame, and with what happened with Thanos. But here it's so smartly done because you're able to bring back Quicksilver, and you have that joke of they recast Pietro, and you've also got this touching upon that this is another reality. This is another way it could have went. And I really love this because it also hints at what's happening in Westview and what's going on with Wanda and her powers and how Vision's back. And this is where the theories come in. This is me talking about what I think may be happening and going on here. It could be completely different. But what I think is happening is they are doing the multiverse, which I think is a given. But how they're doing it, I think what's going on here is that there's a possibility that Wanda went into the multiverse with her powers in a bid to possibly get the Mind Stone and put it into Vision to bring him back. That is one possibility, because as we know, thanks to Loki and the Tesseract, that those stones still exist in other realities. You just have to be able to get to them. And, Loki's flashing around history and the previews that we saw in different places and realities. So here, there's a possibility that this is the actual original Vision, that she stole's corpse. We've seen that now, that she took the body. But what we don't know is if, in fact, this is the same vision. That's another theory that came to me about this, is the fact that could be that she grabbed the Mind Stone from another reality and popped it into the dead corpse of Vision that we all know and love. Or it could have also been that this is a different Vision that she plucked out of another reality. It's pretty messed up if you think about that, because that's why he doesn't know what's going on, but he's Vision to her. So she was able to pluck another Vision from another multiverse where he's alive, or prior to him dying there. The other possibility with this is the fact that, and this is even more effed up if you think about it, is that she got the Mind Stone from a surviving Vision in that reality and took it out of him and killed him to bring hers back. So that could be what's happening here. It could not be Wanda that did any of these things. It could have been whoever is controlling her to make this all happen, which is heavily hinted that everyone thinks it's Mephisto. The other part of this as well is, who brought Quicksilver? Because it seems like it was a very timely distraction for Wanda. So, and she looked shocked that this, other brother is standing on her doorstep, who doesn't look a thing other than the hair, like Pietro at all, but is her brother. And it could be that this was a distraction that was done by whoever is manipulating Wanda into doing what she's doing. Or maybe Wanda did it by accident, because she made it very clear you can't bring back the dead. Vision never really was completely alive. He was an android. So any of those theories could be applicable to that, because he actually wasn't alive, quote unquote alive. Pietro was dead. She couldn't do that one. But there's nothing stopping her from taking another Pietro or Quicksilver, if you will, out of another multiverse and bringing him there. So it could go either way in terms of who did it, but I'm pretty certain at this point that this is a multiverse arc, and that's what we're seeing here, and that's freaking amazing, and that's a perfect way to work in the Fox properties and bring the X-Men into this universe, as well as Deadpool. I mean, all of it's open now. The bridge has been made. It's happening. The other part of this that I found really interesting, and it just kind of it took me a bit to figure it out. And one of my friends was like, my bud Jay, we were discussing, and we had come to the same conclusion of who the physicist, I believe she said, that Monica Rambeau was friends with, that she was going to call up. And that's Reed Richards. It makes sense. This is how we get the Fantastic Four in there now, that Monica Rambeau just happens to know Reed Richards, and she's calling him in for assistance. It's got to be him. I was racking my brain trying to figure out, okay, who would she be talking about? Who would she be talking about? And then, oh my God, Fantastic Four. So this is it. WandaVision is the anomaly that no one expected to be as major a player in bridging all of this together and bringing it all together with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Fox properties. People were like, what is going on? What is this? What is all of this? It's the multiverse coming together in a beautiful, really well done show that just manages to capture all of the aspects it's supposed to be capturing, all of the look and style of these old sitcoms, and it does it in such a great way. It's so perfect. I just the last episode, on episode 5, I was struck again, not only by just the absurdity of Baby Vision, which was so cute, and I'm waiting for the doll, but just how they took the time to recreate these sets, make the film grain look how it does. And it's so well done. And this just blew it off the map. What they're doing now, this episode is so important and such a big deal within all of this. It's the bridge. Now, the big thing, my husband and I have been debating what or who is going to be this big character reveal. I don't think it was Evan Peters. I think it's going to be even more of a big deal than him, because they're saying there is a character that's going to show up that Elizabeth Olsen said was a Luke Skywalker level of fandom crazy, like what happened in The Mandalorian. Now, I love Evan Peters. I love his Quicksilver, but he is not Luke Skywalker. He's not that as much of an integral part of the universe of Marvel as a Luke Skywalker would be. So we've been debating on who this could be. And it's also, Paul Bettany said it was somebody that he'd been dying to work with forever and was freaking out about. So at this point, there's only really 2 or 3 that I can think of. And the one that makes the most sense is actually Ian McKellen as Magneto. Because if you remember, and this is why I was like, well, they're not Magneto's kids in this universe. In the MCU, Wanda and Pietro are not Magneto's children. But in the Fox universe, Quicksilver is Magneto's child. So it makes sense that Ian McKellen would show up in this series now. And to me, a Magneto, the original Magneto, Michael Fassbender, the best Magneto would be a Luke Skywalker level of appearance for a Marvel series like this and for Marvel in general. It could be Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Doesn't make as much sense to actually have Hugh Jackman show up. Ian McKellen is Sir Ian McKellen, and I can see that being more of a big deal for Paul Bettany. Sorry, Hugh Jackman, I love you. I can also see it possibly being Patrick Stewart reprising his role as Charles Xavier. But I don't see it making as much sense when you've worked in Quicksilver and his father is Magneto. So I think by the end of this series or this season, God, I hope they keep doing this because I love this show, but I think it may be played out by the time they get to the end. I think we're going to have Magneto show up, and we're going to definitely have that big mutant moment. And my husband's theory is, and the more I watch and the more I think about it, the more I agree it's going to be a reversal of House of M. And instead of getting rid of all the mutants, Wanda is going to make all the mutants. And that's going to break through the multiverse, and we're going to have mutants. And the word mutant and all of it is going to happen by the end of the series. That's or the season, but that's going to be the case. That's what's going to go down here. So in one episode, they managed to bring in the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. I can't wait to see what else WandaVision does. I can't wait for the next episode. This has been just with me all day. So that's my brown, that's how I gauge how good something is that it just stuck with me. So check out WandaVision. If you've been holding off, don't, because there's no way you're going to keep away from all the spoilers. I avoided it. I made sure to post in this that it was with spoilers, but literally 25 minutes after the episode aired, people were posting about what happened in it. And it really pisses me off when people do that. People don't want it spoiled. There's time for things like that. There's time for discussion like that. You need to post a warning if you're going to be doing that, because it really does taint the experience, and that's not okay. That takes away from the joy of it. And I had no idea. I managed to somehow avoid that Evan Peters was in WandaVision. I don't know how I did that, because I've heard people saying that it was around and that they were like, oh, it's going to be him. I had no idea. I thought it was fantastic. That was a joyful thing. And don't take that away from people, for the love of God. I get it. I'm one of those people that wait. I watch it at midnight, but I know not to spoil this stuff for people. So don't spoil it. Let people enjoy and experience it and have the surprise. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy this live stream talk of my theories of WandaVision, and I look forward to more of it. So thank you guys, and stay safe. Spread the word, not the virus. Bye.